Oh, that would help.
You know, first I read it all.
There's, I do have to take issue with a couple of things Rob said, especially about some of the government and the way they spend money. I've been involved in town government now for about 6 years. A lot of my friends have been involved in town government. People we talk to, we discuss these issues all the time. There is no one I know, Republican or Democrat, in town government who's not concerned about how we spend money. Absolutely not. People in Bridgeport I've been talking to who are on town committee, town council, who are helping me, just economic development people, Board of Finance, every month I talk to the Board of Finance in trouble. There is nobody who is not concerned about how we spend money at the town level. There's a state spending cap, and I'm sure there's no one in Hartford who's unconcerned about how we spend the money. The issue is priorities. What are we going to do and why? We need to fund certain things that we all agree on. We were talking about some before: education, healthcare, tax reduction to the extent we can get them. I don't know of any town that doesn't care because they think they can just raise taxes. That we're just going to spend whatever we want at the town level because we can raise taxes. It just doesn't happen. All the towns, cities in the state, certainly the three we represent, I certainly can't speak for anybody far away, have purchasing departments. They try to find the lowest price possible. The Board of Ed goes out for health care. The town decides where to buy toner. Everybody does what they can. And to say Bridgeport's not watching has also been belied by all that's been going on. In the news, several months ago, there was the whole issue about the fire chiefs and what they were doing with their cars. I mean, that was tracked. Bridgeport was concerned. There's just no question about it. Mayor Finch is under a lot of fire right now because of what he's doing with the police, and the police are obviously protesting that. That is a problem for him, but surely he's watching out for the way tax dollars are being spent. I know that the people on the town city council in Bridgeport that I've been talking to, some of which are in the room, are concerned about how the tax dollars are being spent. There's just no question about it. Everyone's concerned. Everyone's concerned. And to suggest they're not, and to suggest that Hartford should somehow step in and take over, make rules about how you can spend your money at the town level, we shouldn't do that. We have local governments for a reason. Same reason we have state governments. We don't want the federal government coming in and telling us how to run our state. We don't want the state government coming in and telling us how to run the towns. We've got elected officials for all of those things. As far as senior tax relief, we have senior tax relief. There are programs that were instituted at the state level that have been passed in Trumbull, Bridgeport, and I believe at least 2 of them in Monroe. We have them for seniors who cannot afford to pay their taxes. We have them for other people who need help as well. It's not just seniors who need help paying taxes. Seniors do need help paying taxes. And Connecticut is one of 4 states, I believe, that taxes Social Security payments. I don't see any reason to give with one hand and take from another. You're just taking it out of the same pot. There's absolutely no reason for that, and that should stop. I think that's the best thing we can do for seniors right now, is take that burden off them. And then as far as, there was another, oh yeah, the budgets in the 3 towns. Governor Rail's tax cap plan, one of the points in it when she originally presented it in 2007 in May to the Senate Finance Committee up in Hartford, was that it would not apply if it was a supermajority, and it would not apply if there were a referendum in town. Well, Monroe has a referendum. It would not apply there. Bridgeport, I believe, voted unanimously on the budget. I will defer to the folks in the audience who were there and voted for or against that. In Trumbull, 21 of the 21 town council people voted in favor of the budget. It was unanimous at 7.6%. There was simply no dissent. The Board of Finance, which is split 3-3 Republican. The town council, by the way, is split 11 Democrats, 10 Republicans. The Board of Finance was 3-3, were unanimous in their recommendation. And this 11.6 number that keeps getting thrown around, it was thrown around at the beginning of it, that was just never the case. It was just never the case. It's one of those urban legends that kind of stick around, it ends up on blogs somewhere, and it ends up being a number that people just kind of stick with. It just wasn't true. But the bottom line is what's true, is that the tax cap would not have applied in any of these three towns. In the first town, because Monroe has a referendum, and in Bridgeport and in Trumbull because of 100% voting. And to suggest that somehow the town committee, or excuse me, I keep saying town committee, the town council, Bridgeport City Council, is unified because we're all Democrats, I think that is also a little bit disingenuous. It's just not, and even Rob pointed out we've got at least one, and usually
He's the one I vote for.
he's in your district again. But there's certainly a bunch of people there, and the ones I know are certainly very conscientious. They certainly care about the city. There's just absolutely no question about that. And to suggest that they don't care about how much they're spending because we can just raise taxes when they're paying them too, and their parents are paying them too, and their brothers and their sisters and their children, or their parents or their neighbors are paying them too, that they just don't care because they can raise the taxes. I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe that about the people in Trumbull. I don't believe that about the people in Bridgeport.
We're going to take a slight break, and then I'm going to introduce some other dignitaries that are with us tonight, and I'll take a couple of questions from